Well, welcome again, everyone, to another edition of the Midnight TCG podcast.
Competitive edge, dang you.
The competitive edge. Thank you. I totally forgot, but I didn't want to say that on recording. Whatever. We got our usuals, also the King, Gonzaki, and Midnight Fox, and this podcast is all about you guys, the listeners, asking us questions. And first off, before we start, like I said in the CV, shout out to Zero Redux, Kiyu, myself, and Eddie Phoenix for joining the Flash tournament. You guys need to join more Flash tournaments. We need 8 people next time, for sure. So I say we'll just go right into the questions as soon as I pull them up. First one on the list is for Midnight Fox. I don't know who this is from. I don't have it written down, but Christian from Midnight Fox, what are your thoughts on the current meta, and what do you hope to see still alive once the new September list comes out?
I'd say on the current meta, it's not very interesting. It's getting pretty stale with decks like Chaos Dragons, and pretty much that's the most annoying deck. I mean, Windups, Rabbits, Inzectors can be annoying, but they're more few and far between because they're more expensive to build. Right now, basically, you could go out and buy 3 of the Dragonflight structure decks, toss in a few extra money cards, and you've got a cheap deck that just like bombs the field.
You have a tier 1 deck under $70.
And it's just like going crazy everywhere. You know, I hate to see where it focuses on 1 to 4 decks in a meta. It happens, but when they make it this cheap, back when they made the gadgets where you could go out and buy 3 gadget decks and pretty well run that kind of makes the game stale for a while. If people have to spend money, not everybody's going to be willing to spend it, so it's not as bad. But when you go to your locals and everybody's playing Chaos Dragons, kind of annoying. So as far as current meta, not hugely horrible, except for Chaos Dragons. So I am hoping very, very much that Chaos Dragons get a big hit on the next ban list. And maybe Dino Rabbits, they're a little bit annoying and they're somewhat cheap. So I'd like to see those 2 get hit for the next meta. I really wouldn't mind seeing Inzectors stick around and Windups stick around. Windups were kind of the come from behind guys. I mean, Konami, according to what Kevin Tedwart says in his press release, is probably going to hit all 4 decks. We'll see if that actually happens. But definitely they need to hit Chaos Dragons because it's annoying when you even go to locals and you see the same deck. If I go to Reggie's, I expect to see the same 1 to 4 decks. But when I go to locals, I go there for originality. So that's my rant. As far as coming off, I hope to see Magician of Faith or Giant Trunade come off. I think either of them could be a little bit interesting, but I'm not getting my hopes up. I've got plenty of hopes, but those 2 I think would be the least effective on the current meta as far as hurting deck as to what's sitting on the ban list. So, I mean, just kind of my thoughts on where I think it's at, where I'd like to see it at.
Mm-hmm. Okay, not bad. Next question, I think that one was by Kiyu. I think this one's by G-Man Champion. Midnight Fox, what's been your biggest surprise since making Midnight TCG?
I'm going to say our rate of growth. Most startup sites usually take a few years to really pick up, and I know there's a question that goes further into it, so I'll leave the rest of the spoiler for that. But, I mean, just our rate of growth has been amazing that we've grown to over 7,000 members in less than a year. I mean, we're getting noticed enough that some of our competitors are out there are emulating some of the things going on our board to try to keep up. So biggest surprise is that we're already a threat and we're not even a year old.
Which I'm very proud to be a moderator of this site. Okay, next question, I guess for me, if I could cosplay as any character from anywhere, who would you be and why? Pretty easy. I'd be Jaden, and because I play heroes.
He'd be Magician Girl.
Me? Run around with a little staff. No, I just the characters. Jaden's always been my favorite, and he's like what got me competitive with like heroes. Is just all the work I put into it that bad. But heroes goes into a different question, I guess. But yeah, just Jaden, always my favorite. Like the red jacket, I like the dual discs. I don't like the rescue hero boots he wears though. Ridiculous.
You know, you talk about heroes, and I'd just like to say that really gave me an inspiration for a future Flash tournament, possibly. Maybe if our people listen, that could be interesting. But you know, the Fox is always going to have a twist if he decides to be heroic one week.
Yeah. Yay. I'm not doing anything next Friday. I don't care if I have to work.
I
I'm
just
not
played
missing that.
ACK's night. I didn't
Oh,
say
yeah.
next Friday, but
Don't care. I'll take every Friday off.
Till the end of time.
Yep, pretty much. All right, next question. Finally, Ginzaki, the quiet one. Time to talk. Okay, and this is all on you. I'm just going to be quiet as soon as I ask this question because I have no idea what they're even talking about. If you were president of the NCAA, how would you have handled all the sanctioning of the Penn State football program, given everything that's come to light?
Oh, that one's difficult. I
You're
think my
telling
big
me.
thing is I wouldn't want to hit the basketball program as much as I would want to hit the school itself, because it was the school administrators. It went all the way up the line with that fiasco. The football players didn't have anything to do with it. It was the people presiding over the football players. So punishing the football players is horrible. But at the same time, as I've said in the past, I look at the sanctions that they pulled as also a punishment to fans of the team who, a lot of people may know this one already, but a story came out about the 9th victim. When he was molested by Jerry Sandusky, he went to the police, and the police buried the case, and the kid and his family received death threats from these people who did not want to believe that this coach or coach assistant would do something like this. They didn't want it to go bad for Joe Paterno. So I'm not sure what I would do, but I think the actions they did were fair, if not a bit overboard on punishing the team. A punishment towards the administrators involved is more. I would want that more, because, like I said, it wasn't the team that did it, and you shouldn't go after the wrong people. It's difficult. I don't know.
and that seems to be like the norm, you know. All the administrators and the people who work the programs can bury you in paperwork. The kids are the ones who face the punishment because they never see it hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of sick. And then they think, oh well, when I get older, I can just bury everything under paperwork and do the same thing to someone else. Hooray!
I totally agree with you guys. Yep, I totally got that all.
What he's trying to say is he didn't understand a word.
Okay, and now I'm giving a special shout out because these 3 questions are awesome. Special shout out to Nomad. I hope you listen to this. Oh, and special kind of note, he's going to be on the next podcast with us, so everybody watch out for him. He's going to be joining us again. But the 3 questions for us from Nomad. First, Midnight Fox. Where do fox babies come from?
Where do fox babies come from? They're born in the shop box when I go and I photo bucket my images. That's where fox babies come from. They come from my coding, my smiley they come from my smiley belly. We'll just call it that. Nomad, that just killed me, man.
Oh no, just you wait. And then his question for me: at what point during the game's progression did you stop being a scrub, and what factors do you feel played the biggest role in your progression? I have to say fox babies. That's all I think about now. Okay, anyways, I want to say, okay,
That's going to
like
be
I
the
said,
new
Elemental
blurb for
Heroes.
the show. Just fox babies.
Yeah, when it gets all silent, fox babies.
Magnets.
I'm gonna have somebody make a banner with fox babies now.
I think for me, the greatest progression in the game is when Elemental Heroes came out. It gave me some sort of play to, like, something to actually look into the game worth doing. It just was like, you know, I feel comfortable with them, having them with their powers and their situations and everything. And it just that's what made me turn on my path to being a more professional player. And what factors do you feel played the biggest role in your progression? I have to say the first one is I went to a regionals without ever going to any locals ever. And I went 3-3, and I won one, the second one, lost one, and then won, and then lost two more. But on my third game, this guy rolls out like 10 mats, and they're all from regionals, and they're all from nationals. He's like, this is what got me into nationals last year, and it totally works. And it was a zombie deck, and I remember. And this was before the 15 extra deck limit, and I fusioned like a crazy man. Like, I beat him 2-0. I floored him. I had everything to stop him. And my biggest progression was he went to the store owner and said, this kid needs to be kicked out. He's a nobody from nowhere, and he just beat me. And he whined, and he was at least 30 years old. And it's like I almost sent him crying. He's like, this guy needs to go. This is ridiculous. I got beat by a nobody. He was in front of me, and he didn't know I was behind him. And he's like, I even stacked against this kid, and I still lost. And I'm like, cool. And I was like, so I went to the judge, and I'm like, he just admitted that he'd stacked, and he still lost. So he got kicked out, and he wasn't allowed at that Winnipeg Regional for an extra 2 years. That was my biggest game progression. And after that, I just started going to locals, and I went to more regionals. I'm going to hit regionals in September with my buddies around here. And yeah, it's just like each time I go to a bigger tournament, my game progresses more and more and more and more. But I play all the random decks.
I can't lie. I won't say I totally hate on Heroes. I didn't play them a whole lot, but my first collection, I worked on collecting all of the fusions just because I thought they were really cool. I liked the look of them. I liked watching the show. Yes, I'm an older man and I watched the show, but my son loves GX. He likes the Heroes too.
He's my best friend now.
But the biggest thing for me on Heroes, and I'm not lying when I say this, I played this before I ever saw it hit mainstream, was when Evil Hero Dark Gaia first hit. I took that to a regionals and nobody saw it coming. It was nothing but small piece golems and Raviels and the High Fiend monsters. It was crazy. People were like, what the heck? What the heck is this? But
I played the evolution through Evil Heroes too. I know what you mean. I played a straight Evil Hero deck. That was wonderful.
Interesting note of Heroes is what escalated my game as well, because I was content to play casually until I got my ass kicked by a Rainbow Neos deck. And I was like, no, it is not going to go down this way, because the guy just demolished every deck I had, and that told me, okay, you're going to research the cards, you're going to get better. And within a year, my Sabers were juggling his Rainbow Neos through the air.
That is the only hero deck I have continuously tried to work on. Rainbow Neos, I like that guy. I think with Advanced Dark coming out, there might be a good chance of seeing Rainbow Neos hit big time.
Yeah. No, let me go back to the questions. No, I played an Evil Hero deck, and it was really amazing. I loved Evil Hero Malicious Fiend. I still have my 2 German and my Ultra English one from my very, very original set. And they were so good until I figured out that you don't have to go into your battle phase. You don't have to go into your battle phase, so it's not a complete magnet. That made me disassemble it because I was doing really good with it otherwise, but after I figured that out, it just wasn't as powerful, and I just kept losing because I can never draw the 3 Battle Mania. And time for my favorite question, and this is for none other than Ginzaki. And Midnight Fox, hold in your laughter until the question's all done. Okay? So, Ginzaki, who were or was your first or most memorable video game, TV, show, movie, etc., crush or crushes, and why did you animate yourself towards them? Also, if given the opportunity, be it realistic, unrealistic, or obscene, would you still hit that today? Feel free to include or exclude as many variables as you see fit for this recording, including, but not limited to, but not, okay, hang on, but not limited to time paradoxes, child safety laws, as well as whether or not it matters that drawings aren't real people.
And you guys told me not to laugh.
Oh dear Lord. The fact is,
Me
I
and my
had a
friend Eric.
serious answer for that one.
You have a serious answer?
I do. My first video game crush was a character named Rita Mordio in the game Tales of Vesperia. And would I still hit that today? A, she's underage, and B, she's a goddamn
It doesn't
cartoon.
matter. See, but that said, feel free to include or exclude as many variables as you see fit. Not limited to child safety laws, as well as whether or not it matters that drawings aren't real people.
No, come on. We know that Jessica Rabbit was the original animated hottie.
I'll give
yeah,
you that one.
From Roger Rabbit. Yeah, I'd hit
Jessica
that
Rabbit.
over and over.
I don't think she counts though, because just about
And one
everyone
more time.
would hit that.
She counts, dude. She counts. I bet you can even hear my friend in the background
I
go,
heard
"Oh
him.
yeah, oh yeah."
That's kind of scary.
And my friend, okay, this is my friend Chris. You can keep this recorded. But my friend Chris just said all over her face and lower back. Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, gotta cut that.
Okay. But really,
The
so
kids
Tales of
won't
Vesperia.
understand that. No. Don't Google it, kids.
So Tales of Vesperia, hey. And what about you, Midnight Fox?
Ugh. Are we okay? We're talking about video games or whatever, right?
Anything. It can even be like Angelina Jolie.
I'm not gonna lie, and I've told my wife this, dude. I think Denise Richards is hot. She is hot, man. Yeah. I've told my wife that. We got a little joke back and forth. Yeah, definitely. If she was sitting at my front doorstep, I'd be like, hey, honey, I gotta go take a break now. I'm just, I gotta be good, but I think she'd understand. She knows.
Yeah. I'd have to say, for me, honestly, just like watching the tabloids and stuff, recent Emma Watson for me.
Let's get it on. For Heine?
Anyways,
You didn't
so
hear it 'cause it
that's
was
the
in
end
my
of the
headset.
questions.
Nope. You got one more. You missed one.
I missed one.
You missed one. You missed.
I missed it.
Yeah. See, you actually, the first one you covered White Ranger's question. The last one was from KaiOU. For me, he wanted to know a little bit of history about Midnight TCG, what motivated me to start it, how did it first start out to where it is, and what are the future expectations of the site. That was kind
Sorry,
of...
that was in another note. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Midnight TCG actually started about 3 years ago. We were on MidnightExpressForums.com. It was an old Zeta board. And I started that board. It initially started as a Mafia board, just an extra board for us to go play Mafia games off of the regular boards so that people didn't know who the other players were. Well, when I stopped playing Mafia for a while, I decided to turn it into Midnight Express. And we grew to about 200 members in 2 years. Not huge. It originally started as a Yu-Gi-Oh board, but Magic actually took that board over. And at the rate we were growing, I had an expectation of a year out or so actually going to V-Bulletin, but I decided about 6 months earlier than that to go ahead because at the time we had what we thought were a pretty stable staff to go ahead and go to V-Bulletin. And so I went and got the license. We got started up. We've kind of cycled a little bit through staff, but I think we are at the point now where we've pretty well got the best staff we've had since we started the site. I hope when we first started on V-Bulletin that we would start to outgrow other boards within maybe 2 to 3 year time frame, but we're actually catching up to our competitors a lot quicker than that. So my future expectations of the site, basically, I just want to keep it the way it is. I don't want to make the same mistakes that past boards have made, that our board becomes a popularity contest or a troll fest, that people just come in and say what they will. What I like about what we've created in our community is that you can come over, you can talk BS with everyone, and there's, nobody's getting down on you. And if somebody does get down on someone, the Fox is right behind them, getting onto them. As a matter of fact, our own Master X created a custom Fox banner for our Blood Moon skin. I popped this one, I think the last podcast too, but the Blood Moon, it says "Where Trolls Hide," which some people would probably look at that and go, oh, well, that's a joke, ha ha ha, these guys have trolls hiding among them. Well, sort of, that's kind of the point, that they hide because they know they'll be routed out of the community. We have a friendly community, so that's where I want to stay. I plan on staying involved, and I hope this site takes on a life of its own and just transcends where all of our predecessors got to. And I think with the vision that we all share together, we have the opportunity to do that versus other boards have just started, hey, let's just give up, or let's let everything be run on a popularity contest. That's not the way we run. Everybody who's on staff and has worked their way around has done it by hard work and dedication.
I'm gotta say, Fox, I'm very proud to be a part of the site as it grows and grows and grows. So thank you for the opportunity, and yeah.
And just a quick little plug before we wrap things up. The podcast Scavenger Hunt is on. It includes gaming podcasts 1 through 9, Competitive Edge 1 through 4. I'm not going to tell you what questions are in which podcast. It's up to you to listen to it. Also, our Flash tournaments, I think I might give a hint to our regular listeners if you pay attention weekly. Other than that, like All City King said, our Flash tournaments, we'd really like to get to the 8 every Friday. They can pop up anytime, and every week it's a new theme, so you never know what you're going to run into. Kind of like All City and LOB to Dark Crisis tonight.
Yeah. And I have 2 plugs for myself to put on. I just want everyone to know that this weekend I'm doing Worst Card of the Week, and I'm doing Slifer the Sky Dragon for Card of the Week. So either late tomorrow or early Sunday, be ready to see those. And for all of our regular listeners that play League, Ginzaki and I are going to start talking right away about a League of Legends tournament. And I think I personally am going to put up to $60 in Riot Point prizes for this. So if you guys want to listen to this all the way through and hear this, $60 in prizes is really good for League. If you win first place, or if you win enough tournaments, depending on how we do it, $30 in Riot Points, fantastic. You can buy 4 characters with Riot Points. You can buy skins. They always have sales, so look out for that. Free Riot Points. Nobody's ever going to complain about that. So just keep an ear out for that. Ginzaki, do you have any plugs?
I would like to plug the way I'm thinking our league tournament's going to go. I've been chatting with some friends who are big in the league scene, and they have said the best way to do this would be to, until we got enough players drawn in to do team tournaments, it'd be best to do mirror match tournaments, like pick a
co-op
hero
versus AI?
No, pick a hero for each person, I pick a hero for the week, give you a couple days in advance to figure out how to use that hero, and then have you go one-on-one against each other using the same hero. See who is the best with each character.
And we can do some sort of points towards that, maybe with kill death ratio, things like that. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
And thank you again.
Go ahead.
I want to thank everyone again for being members of our community. Keep referring your friends. We do still have the Exodia Mat contest going on for referrals, and all of you guys on staff, keep doing the stellar job you're doing. It's bringing these people in.
Well, thank you to everyone for listening in again. And keep tuned for the Flash tournament and for the league and for everything else. And thank you, Fox and Ginzaki, once again.
Fox babies.